Hey, so it's pretty dark, and that's just that's just the way this video is gonna be. I just watched the video Passions by Caroline Rothstein on her channel Body Empowerment, and I love her channel, and you should check it out if you haven't already, if you are watching. And I guess I came on YouTube because I'm not feeling great right now. I don't know what caused this shift in mood, because I was okay as far as I was aware. It's another thing, I tend to not be very aware. And now I feel just kind of crappy and glum and a space that I'm familiar with. I did alright with my dinner. I just made it and ate it, which is great, whatever, but, and I know, like, some people might be like, no, that's a great accomplishment, blah, 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 blah. For me, it's kind of like, but I feel shitty, and it's not about the food really right now, as far as I know, except for the idea that, you know, there's always that part of me that really doubts my recovery, that it's going to be legit this time, and that brings me to why I am making this video, which is that it is different for me to reach out in any way when I am down or feeling down and upset. I had gotten past the point of attempting to release that, or share that, or let that out. I had given up on myself, I guess you could say. So, and it felt that the energy that it cost me to try to put it into words was too much when I felt this way. Before this, I was singing. This is embarrassing, but let me just be real with you guys. I've been watching a lot of clips on YouTube of the X Factor, and one of my childhood passions was singing. And lately I've been trying to connect again with music, and I don't really feel connected. But that's another thing that I have lacked in my previous attempts at recovery, is sticking with things, or trying to connect with things, or pushing myself, really. So I wouldn't say that I'm like pushing myself to the point where it's extremely uncomfortable in all moments, but I am trying to keep in mind I don't want to just stop trying to play that keyboard over there, and I don't just want to stop singing in my car, or whatever. So today I downloaded this app the other day, where you can record yourself singing. It's just like a voice recorder. And, you know, it's always weird to say something nice about yourself, but I actually, while I recognize and think that I really, if I want to sing well in a technical sense, need to train myself or take some lessons again or something, I do think that naturally I have a nice singing voice. I think it's unique, and the tone is nice, and it's like a deeper tone, which you can probably tell from my speaking voice. And I personally, regardless of whether other people believe it or not, although I have heard through my life that, you know, I sing well, I personally treasure that. It's something that I have when I'm alone, and I'm alone a lot. So that's one thing I can say that I think makes me unique, and is unique to me. And same with anyone's voice, their physical voice. It's theirs. And it's funny, actually, we're getting a little off topic here, but when I was a kid, often me and other little children would be like, are you a boy or a girl? Because I was very active, and before I had developed, you know, I kind of looked like a little boy. My mother used to cut my hair like this. I mean, I think it was obvious that I was a girl, but, you know, I had this deeper voice. I don't think it was quite as deep as it is now, but now it's not something that I'm embarrassed of. Actually, I really like it about myself. And I didn't really think about that until just now. So I'm glad that that came of this. But, so I was singing for a while, and, you know, like, obviously there's that part of my brain that's like, wow, you really don't have control of that voice. Like, you've really deteriorated since you were younger, because I used to sing in my choir, and I did some musicals, and I know that, like, nerves play into it, but I think that really, I just haven't, let's be real, what have I been doing for the last 6 years have been really, really, really entrenched in my eating disorder years, so let's be real there. So I don't know if that's what's getting at me right now, or something else, I don't know, but I had a nice lunch with a friend today, and that was alright. So I don't know what could be causing this mood. I honestly am too tired to try to figure it out, I guess. Unless that's something that people feel like they should do for recovery. Is that something I should be doing? Because I don't know. But it's a darker piece of things. Maybe that was where I got a little off track, was I started to make up a song. And it's hard for me. That was actually one thing I identified with you, Caroline, if you're watching, is one of my passions as a child was writing stories and poems, and I've been keeping journals since I was like 9 years old, and that I never thought of as writing, because, so for what I would say is I really haven't written anything since I was a teenager, and more seriously before that, but my mom was like, well, you're always keeping those journals. She said that to me the other day. I was like, I guess that's writing. It's just that lately it's been more like, I'm trying to do the journaling thing again. Hey, every so often, like maybe once every few months, there's a journal entry that feels that it flows more freely and comes from me, and that's a good feeling for me, to really feel like I am able to express myself is different, even if I feel it's pointless, which is another one of my larger issues, that I feel everything is pointless. So, which ultimately maybe it kind of is, like, but, you know, like, that's another thing, like, what's our reality? Regardless of whether or not we have a religion or whatever, we are on this planet, in the earth, in this world, in this society, and I have to try to figure out how to navigate that in a way that does not feel like extreme awfulness all the time. So I guess where I had a hard time, and not at all like saying like it wasn't a good video, because it was a wonderful video, Caroline, again, if you're watching this, I have a really hard time feeling like there's any point or making myself start. And that's where I'm trying to do something different with this video, in like reaching out to people, because that's one thing, and my therapist and I talked about this yesterday, that I think has greatly contributed to my overall existential crisis / mental deterioration over the years, is that I have been very isolated, and even when I am with people, I have a very difficult time really being myself. I'm not sure why. That seems to be a built-in instinct, but if I can work on trying to come from like my true center place here, maybe that'll help. There's this Fiona Apple song where she says, "Please forgive me for my distance. The pain is evident in my existence." And maybe that was part of where my eating disorder came in. I'm not sure, but it often feels like this just cloud, or whatever, I lack the appropriate expression, in my chest, that I just carry around with me, and this heaviness, this sort of like being drenched in a maple syrup ickiness. And I really don't want to feel that way anymore, so if you have any suggestions or anything, please get at me. Alright, thanks for watching this. Bye.